evaluate him intentionally.
Okay.
And whatever time I used to get, I used to sit in his class.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm saying evaluating my father, I used to evaluate the way he used to enjoy so much. I mean, he used to enjoy his classes so much. And I remember there were certain times he would go about his class like for 3 hours, like, and the class was supposed to be for just like 90 minutes, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And he was so much involved in the conversation and in his own content, and even students,
Mm-hmm.
they were like, so much enthusiastic about their learning that I
Okay.
could already see that enthusiasm in the way they were taking that kind of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and that was amazing. So that was the first thing that created the interest of the language for me, and I also wanted to do a bit about it, and that's how my journey started with having this seed of teaching English language.
I would like to share a one thing with you. I would like to hear from your thoughts. I have talked with a lot of guys from, you can say, Punjab, like Chandigarh, and mostly I have found from there they are choosing this as a career, like ESL. Is that right?
Oh yes, ESL, but I think ESL is an industry which is seeing the boom right now. Earlier, it was just about like IELTS, you can say, or
Uh huh.
it was about moving to Canada or the US for study purpose or for immigration purpose. So those uh, people, they had an intention to learn English, but nowadays, because of technology, because of
Yeah.
technology coming in, because now location is just a barrier. It's just a barrier. Now, obviously, if you have a Canadian passport, then
Mm-hmm.
what happens? Because when you talk about ESL industry,
Yes.
now 90% of ESL teachers, I'm talking about the schools.
Okay.
So schools all over the world, they would prefer either like native English speakers,
Uh huh.
or those who speak like native English speakers.
Okay.
So they call it as natives or like natives.
Like
So
natives.
so you so you would hear this term, okay, very often. Native speakers
Like
or like
native.
native speakers. Like native speakers.
Got it.
So when I started my journey in ESL, I remember getting getting an opportunity with a Chinese company first,
Okay.
and they thought that I am an American. I
Really?
don't know. Yes,
It's it
because
just cause of might be your
you know.
accent. Your accent is quite
Well, I don't.
sophisticated.
Well, could be, could be because of that reason. But I'm talking about the time when I was like around 23, like 24. So at that point in time, when I was given that interview. So after my interview, I could see that in the result, uh, it said like native speaker. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
then I thought, just for one moment, I had this thought. Maybe I should tell them that I'm not a native
Uh-huh.
English speaker. You know, although I speak pretty much like natives because of my environment, but I'm not a native English speaker. But then I thought, hang on,
Mm-hmm.
why I'm doing that? If they're giving me an opportunity, so let me have it. And then they also uh, offered me at that point in time, like they offered me like a good package, and it
Okay.
was an hourly package. It was an hourly package. In case if you don't know, China is the biggest market in ESL industry.
I
That's the biggest market.
I have heard about like China, Taiwan, and Japan. These are
Yes, these are good markets, but the biggest one is China. Reason being, as you know, there are so many Chinese people, right? Because of their population. Right?
okay.
So when you talk about China, there are many there are many people who actually want to learn English. Okay,
Okay.
and for some reason they have preference for American English.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm saying that, it doesn't mean that they don't want to learn British English, but for some reason they have their inclination towards American English.
Got it.
Now we Indians, as you know, that we were under the rule of British Empire, for 200
Yes.
years. So for that reason, we have the influence of British English. But for some reason, they have their preference of American English. And if you will talk about like the present scenario in
Yes.
China, parents are paying like up to $25 an hour for their kids.
Oh, really?
For them, yes, in China, yes. And this is the reason why China is the biggest ESL market. Um, because in India, you will not find people who would pay $25 easily. Are you getting the point?
I'm getting the point. Like people are not that much ready to spend that much amount of money here in India.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then for some reason, Indians think that they know English. You know, they are good in grammar, but when
Uh-huh.
it comes to spoken English, yes, obviously they lag much behind. Because when you see the school curriculum,
Yes.
there is there is no importance given to spoken English.
Not at
Like
all.
ever since
Not at
yes,
all.
ever since you start yes, you're right. So ever since you start your journey of going to school, so they will tell you to write like A, B, C, D, and then when you go to any coaching institutes, so they will make five people sit together or 10 people sit together, and they would just tell them, hey, now you just have an interaction, and this is how you will learn English. But that's not how it happens.
Uh-huh.
Because uh, until and someone knows what's the right way of pronouncing that word, you cannot expect them to be perfect in spoken.
Exactly.
So in UK or in other developed countries, what's happening? They're following a natural phenomena. Natural phenomena means they know that when you talk about any language, there
Yes.
are four aspects: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, right?
Yes.
So the way they go about it, they think, and they're right, that listening should come first.
Okay.
So just to give you an example, when someone is born, no one would tell that child to write,
Exactly.
right? So whenever any child would be born, child would just observe his parents or his surroundings for 6 months or up to 1 year, and then eventually he would start speaking. Now he would learn words from his parents or people around him. Now, whatever he's learning, whatever he's acquiring from others or from his family members, so that's the same kind of language, that's the same kind of tone he would be using in his
Exactly.
language, right? Now, the kind of mistake which I do see a lot of people do, especially moms and dads, they do what they do, you know, they speak in a very awkward way, with their children. And this is my own observation. So, for instance, when they're when they're making the child learn about certain words, so they would say things like "pani," like "pani piyoge," and then like they would speak in what do you call that? Like in totally language, like
Okay,
क्या
lisping.
हो गया
Lisping.
like yes,
Lisping.
like क्या हो गया like क्या हो गया मेरे बच्चे को क्या हो गया, and then I mean they would not pronounce it in the right way. So for instance,
Yeah,
if
they will
the word
say
is pani,
tot lag gayi, tot lag gayi.
right. So yes, you got it. So this is the mistake which they would do, and then I found out that the child would acquire that, from them.
Mm-hmm.
And when the child would start speaking, he would also speak in that totally language.
Exactly.
And it'll take like at least 3 years or 4 years for that child to get rid of that kind of language.
Exactly. I have seen this thing.
Right. So that's such a big mistake which they're doing. So, and this is not how you should make your kids learn a language, right? So, I mean, there are many things that we tend to do wrong in India, and for that reason, even though we have so many PhDs in English, but when it comes to their spoken English, it's not up to that standard.
Exactly.
There are a few states. Well, there are few states like and mostly South Indian states, which are following the right pattern of learning the language. Especially
Okay.
when you go to Chennai or when you go to
I'd like to
Bangalore. So
I'd like to know from you, like what type of pattern, as you are saying, they're following right. So may you please explain further?
yes, when I'm saying that they're following the right pattern, they're following the rule of like Cambridge University.
Okay.
So even in their English curriculum that the kids have in schools, they give importance to spoken English. They
Okay.
give importance to the right pronunciation of a word. So for instance, you would see examples like whenever you accumulate two words to make a new word out of it. So it's like good plus morning. So these are two different words.
Good morning.
So when you accumulate, yes, like good and morning. So these are two different words. But when you accumulate these two words, a new word is formed, which is good morning, right?
Yeah.
Now, the rule is whenever you would accumulate two words to make a new word out of it, the last letter of the first word should not be pronounced. So it goes silent.
Okay.
So for instance, good.
Good morning. Good.
You're right. So you would not speak D.
Exactly.
Okay? So you would say good morning.
Good morning.
Right?
Good morning.
Right. Absolutely right. And now most of the Indians they don't know about it, and then they think like when they hear Americans or when they hear native English speakers, they think that they're eating those letters, but they're not eating those letters. They're pronouncing it in the right way.
Okay, so it is a rule. It's a rule.
It's a rule, yes.
Sir,
I'll give you another example, like cupboard.
cupboard, something.
Yes. So you don't say like cup, like the coffee cup that we
Exactly.
use. So you don't say P. So you say cupboard.
Cupboard.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I've seen many Indians, they do pronounce cupboard right, but not good morning, right? So if you tend to follow the rules right, then you would tend to understand the language,
Exactly.
And the moment you learn about any rule and then you start implementing that in your day-to-day language, that's you become perfect
Exactly.
in your communication, right? So this is what you need to do.
And I would like to know how many years, sir, you have spent in Canada?
7 years.
7 years. And after that, what made you to come to India?
No, well, I came to India during pandemic.
Okay.
And the reason I came to India because I had the opportunity to teach my students online.
Okay.
So when I could teach them online, and I could be with my parents as well, so I thought that it's a good opportunity for me.
Exactly.
So, and this is the reason why I opened my own academy by the name of Global TEFL Academy,
Okay.
and I'm also
You
so
teach offline
now.
as well? You teach offline
Yes.
in
We have an
Gurugram?
institute.
Gurugram?
So if you will, so my my offline office is in Hyderabad. So if you will type Global TEFL Academy on Google, so you would actually see the address of my place in Hyderabad. Um, I started this in Hyderabad because a lot of students were from Hyderabad, and I thought that because I have so many students from Hyderabad, so let me start my academy there. And obviously, I had space there because my sister, she also moved to Canada, so she
Okay.
has her house in Hyderabad, and I knew that it's a vacant house and it's a spacious house in the right place.
Okay.
So I used her house to teach students.
And what about
And
right now you're in Gurugram, so how do you teach offline there?
no, it's like I have trained teachers,
Okay.
so they are taking care of it, and I'm also teaching students like online. Now I have evolved from that stage. What I'm doing, I'm teaching trainers, I'm teaching teachers, I'm helping rookie teachers get the TEFL
Rookie.
certification.
Rookie is a really phenomenal word. I love it. I learned from WWE. Rookie wrestlers, like new wrestlers, like something. Like
Yes, right.
they are not trained.
Immature.
Immature.
Like, like no, it's not immature. It's amateur.
Amateur.
AMA.
Shokia. You mean to say
Immature.
Shokia? Shokia.
No, amateur means like new ones.
No Sikhya.
So for
No Sikhya.
yes. No, see, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it right. So I am teaching graduates how to get TEFL certification, and I am teaching English teachers that how to get TEFL certification and how to teach students abroad. So I'm showing them the way, and right now I do have certain agents in US, in China, whom I know, and they are in need of teachers. So whatever teachers like I have in my network, I give them that opportunity. They would go through the interview, and if everything goes well, they are selected.
And
They can.
how much you pay them? Like you pay hourly or like monthly?
So I am not. See, if you're asking me like how much I am paying to the teachers that I have,
No. I'm asking, do you pay hourly or monthly to them?
well, the teachers whom I have to run the satellite center, well, they are getting hourly payment.
Hourly payment.
Okay, hourly payment means, for instance, they would teach for let's say 200 hours in
Okay.
a month. Okay,
Yes.
so 200 hours into a set amount, and that would be their payment.
Okay. Sir, I'm having my own set of question. Can I ask you?
Yes, why not?
how to improve accent as same as like you are having really good like sophisticated accent like nobody you well said that thing they consider you native speaker and indeed you are native speaker. So can you tell something like how can we live in India like staying in India and we can still like able to make that much progress in our accent?
Yes, it's a very good question that you asked. Well, I think for that, what you need to do, you need to have a set standard of your spoken English.
Okay.
I think we are running out of time. So what you can do in case if we get disconnected, you can click on the same link.
Okay. Okay,
You can
sure.
click on the same link, okay?
Okay.
And then you'll be getting reconnected.
Okay.
Okay. So what you need to do, like right now, you need to speak to those people who tend to speak in a kind of native way.
Okay.
You need to start by listening to them,
Okay.
and then you need to make a point that you're learning the right kind of pronunciation.
All right.
So I'll give you an example. So for instance, the word opportunity, right? Now,
Opportunity.
yes. So there is a word opportunity. I'm sure that you know about that word, right?
Exactly.
Like everyone needs an opportunity to grow in their career, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are two ways of pronouncing the word opportunity, okay? One is an American way, and the other is a
British.
British way. Yes. Now, when it comes to accent, there are other accents as well. Like there is Scottish accent, there is Australian accent, right? But globally, two are famous,
Exactly.
American and British. So Americans would tend to say opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yes. So they would tend to say opportunity, right? And Britishers would tend to say opportunity, right? So,
Opportunity.
right. And both are right in a global context.
Okay.
So if you're speaking to an American and if you're saying opportunity, so they'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
However, they'll also understand that you're not a Native American speaker because otherwise you would have said like opportunity,
Opportunity.
right?
All right.
Right? So the more clarity you have about pronouncing the words, the more native like spoken level you would have. Are you getting the point?
Exactly. And one more thing. What do you think? I'm always get confused. Cause in my school time, college time, we are having BRP, British Received Pronunciation. And I like both of them. I like American. I mostly contact in with American. So what will you say? I should go with American or I should go with like British? Cause the content which I watch mostly it's American. So what I need to do? But I wanted to have accent. So what accent I can opt for?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Well, before you get into the accent aspect, let me tell you, even if you are going to attend your IELTS interview, right? Something that I want you to understand,
Okay.
they are not going to have your accent in consideration.
All right.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
So, even if you have an Indian accent, but you speak fluently, your words are clear, you are a coherent speaker. Coherent speaker means who has
Exactly.
the link of whatever, like you know what you're talking about. It's not like you're going haywire, one moment you're talking about one thing, another moment you're talking about something else, right? So if you are able to maintain that, you know, that level,
Uh-huh.
then you then you can get 9 bands,
Okay.
and even Europeans would get the same kind of like band. And
Uh-huh.
when you're getting like 9 bands, like 8.59 bands, so that's the maximum, right? So
Exactly.
which means, so accent is not something which would be a barrier for you. No, it's not about
Sir,
the accent.
it's a really
It's
barrier.
about,
Because what happened
sorry.
today? What happened today? In our college, I went for a kind of like there is a kind of seminar hall, and they are doing elocution type of like poem, kind of like literature practice for youth festival, and they had given me a topic, and they said to me you have to memorize it. So I said yeah, I'll memorize. And after some time I went there, and that ma'am said to me, yeah Kunal, we want you to speak on it. So after that I started speaking. I just at that time I had spoken merely for 2 minutes, and she was saying just stop it, you don't have accent, and we cannot take you with us, like you are not made for that thing, like no.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Well, these sort of issues, uh, like I don't know what exactly she wanted you to, you know, uh, I because I have no idea what kind of what kind of role you were expecting,
I
and
just
she was
they had given me a kind of like topic, means to say, like about youth importance in order to make India develop something. And they like it starts from like Swami Vivekananda something, like some line quotation, and I have to speak on it, like why, like just cause of youth we get the freedom in our country, and like type of thing it was. So at that time I just have spoken 2 minutes, and that ma'am was saying you don't have accent, so just yeah, you are not, we are not going to take in our team.
well. I think she was wrong in her evaluation, or let me put it this way: she might have thought that you have MTI, which is mother tongue influence,
Uh-huh.
right? And there is nothing wrong in having a mother tongue influence. So, for instance, when you would talk to someone who is in Scotland, they have a very heavy mother tongue influence, you know.
Yes sir.
So even though they speak English, but they have a very heavy, mother tongue influence. So you can easily make out that he's from Scotland or he's from Ireland, because that's
This is
how they
point.
speak.
This is point.
Their right, their English is different. Why? Because that's the way they have acquired from their parents. Okay, and nowadays there is a lot of change, so although still a lot of changes needs to be done for the betterment, but I think we are heading in the right direction. So earlier what used to happen, I think I did point this out, that 90% of the companies, they were only looking for kind of native English speakers, which means anyone who is from US, Canada, South Africa, Australia, UK, and Jamaica. You know,
Jamaica
so
as well.
yes, Jamaica, because so uh, you know they were hiring only these kind of ESL tutors. I mean, only from these places. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Most of them. But now that change is there. Okay, so now I would say like it's about like 70-30. So that that change is there. Now you see a lot of teachers from Philippines,
Yeah, Philippines top
right?
getting.
Yes, like ESL. Now you also see many teachers from India, right?
Yes.
So when I'm saying many, again, number is still less, but like if you see like 100 tutors, you might see like maybe 10 teachers,
5
or
teacher.
10 or 12. Yes, from India, but earlier this was not there. So this is happening because, as you know, there are a lot of things that are happening around. Like there are certain campaigns like Black Lives, Matter. You see that people are talking about racial discrimination. People are talking about their races and all of that. So a lot of things are being talked about